Well, this is it. This is the last show from season one of Stranger Things. So this will be the last review I do for that particular season. Um, okay, just to let you know, I'm going to take a break. I'm going to actually go and do some John Carpenter films. I'm going to see if I can start going through the films he had done. Great director. But I'm going to start here tonight with episode 8, season one, Stranger Things, The Upside Down. Uh, and as well, just to get this out of the way as well, if you like this video, I appreciate it. Hit like, and I'd really appreciate it if you subscribe. You can also check out some other videos I got going, generally horror, science fiction, fantasy, and as well, if you want to comment on anything, go ahead and do so. That's okay. Now, this one here, it was based on a story by Paul Dichter. He would actually go on to work on all 5 seasons of Stranger Things in some regard as a writer, a staff writer, editor. So he was there for the all 5 seasons, as I said. The teleplay from this episode was done by the brothers, who also directed this as well. So they went on to direct 6 of the first 8 episodes of Stranger Things. Now, this one has a nice long intro, and at the end of episode 7, we saw Joyce and Hopper going back to the lab. I was questioning, okay, why are they doing this? This seems really silly. It comes together, so that's good. I'll get to that in a moment, but we see Joyce is handcuffed, sitting at a chair. With the mirror that they can look in on her. She just sees the mirror. Um, and then Dr. Brenner walks in and they talk about her missing child, and the Demogorgon that took him, and how they need her help, right? Um, and Joyce does the right thing and tells Dr. Brenner to go to hell. So there you go. That's a good punch opening right there. At the same time, Harper is talking with agents, and they're looking to get some info from him. He's not receptive to that idea, and they're a little bit rougher on Hopper as well. Poor old Hop. But he has an idea in his mind, leading to why they came back to the lab. Mike is looking for Nancy and Jonathan, as now they have disappeared. So the kids are the only ones at the school now. Elle knows where they have gone and just says to him, Demogorgon, oh. The two of them are back at the Byers, doing a very Nightmare on Elm Street here, setting traps for Freddy. I mean, the Demogorgon, um, because they're going to bring him there. They're going to bring him into this reality, right? I dig the bat though. They got all the. I think it was Jonathan was hammering nails into the bat. I like that. That's very cool. Always did. I like the bat. Back to Hopper and Joyce. As an agreement has been reached by Hopper and Dr. Brenner that if they let them go inside the upside down, they will keep their lips sealed. They won't say a word, which is quite hilarious when you get to season 5. Um, Everybody knew shit was up. By I don't I don't quite remember, but by season 5, it was like you have to be a bloody moron to not know something's afoot here in Hawkins. But anyways, we won't say a word. Yeah. So yeah, just coming from that angle of season 5, it's kind of silly. But I mean, the Duffer Brothers probably want you to rewatch this, keep watching the show and enjoy it. But it just seems kind of silly in the end, and that's okay because things can change. And yeah, totally. So it's just kind of silly though, coming from season 5 right into this sort of. And then Joyce and Hopper go into the Upside Down. in these suits due to the toxic air, which they need to come back to this because those suits are totally gone by, in my mind, at least season four. Yeah, we'll have to get back to that, see what happens with that. In the end, though, by Hopper doing this, it makes sense as to why they went back to the lab. So I like that. Um, but enough with the ideas that are in your own mind that you do not share with anyone else. Which is hilarious as well, because by season five, I have an idea, share it with the 15 people, and off we go to do it. So it's kind of funny how it goes from one extreme to another, but that's what's going on in season one here, anyways. Um, there you go. So yeah, and then it goes into the opening credits. Now I must say, in this episode, it always does come out to me in these episodes, but it really came out to me in this one. I really enjoyed in some of the scenes the simplistic 80s style music, very John Carpenter-esque. It really works with the atmosphere, the setting, everything. It really works very well and adds certainly to the entertainment, right? So Joyce and Harper are in the Upside Down, and here we get to see some deeper, extremely important flashbacks of Hopper and his daughter who died of cancer. Now later they come across an egg, which to me that's straight out of Alien. And Hopper has more flashbacks of his daughter, and that's very important for his character and you getting to know Hopper and his pain, getting to know him, and maybe understanding why life ain't the best for Hopper, and it definitely isn't with these circumstances for sure. Nancy and Jonathan decide to cut their own hands with knives so that the Demogorgon can smell them, right? That's their way of drawing the Demogorgon to them. Um, I don't think I mentioned this in another one. I'm not sure, but Elle needs recharging. She's used a lot of her energy on this night with her powers, so she needs to recharge. So she's very weak at this point. And that's something ongoing in the show that they keep doing that by the end. Episode five, they kind of learn, or Elle is much better at um, recharging her powers or recharging her batteries. But because of this, Dustin is off to find some chocolate pudding. Ooh, I love chocolate pudding. I love pudding, period, actually. You can tell Jonathan and Nancy are starting to care for each other here. But when you know it, Steve shows up. This is at Jonathan's place. He's there to talk to Jonathan. I think to say, I'm sorry. Um, but it is Nancy who opens the door or answers the door. Okay. Steve, you have to leave. She's aiming a gun at him. Incredibly, before Nancy shoots Steve, um, because this is weird to me. Because why don't you just get Steve in on the plan? Um, no matter what Steve did, he's better than this Demogorgon. Like this Demogorgon is gonna just kill you. It killed Barb, right? It took Will, right? Why don't you get Steve in on the plan? But they don't, or that one didn't seem to be a good idea at the time. Rather than shooting the guy, although maybe she never really meant to shoot him, but like just get him in on the plan. Um, but before that happens, the lights start flashing, and the Demogorgon is coming out of the wall towards them. Some great action scenes, really, here in the buyer's home. This is okay. I really enjoyed this. Great action. And I really love how Steve has no idea what the hell is going on. Everybody else knows Steve is out to lunch. What is going on here? I love that. It brought a smile to my face. I like that. Now, in the end, Steve ends up running to his car in terror. Steve, right now, is coming across as a wimpy little bitch. I gotta say it. Sorry, Steve. That's what you're coming across as. Nancy and Jonathan are in there fighting this Demogorgon, and you're running away. But this is the major turn in that character of Steve right here, right now. It's already happened. There's been some turns, some big turns already, but this is a major one for Steve. Um, I'm not sure if in the original script or in the original idea, if this is where Steve was going to be killed off or earlier, but yeah, you can tell he's written to stay here now, and I'm fine with that. Totally, I really like Steve's character. Um, but he looks back to the Byers house. And visually, I get a very big Evil Dead visual here with the house and the lights coming out. Um, the one level home, very much getting an Evil Dead vibe there with that look. Anyways, the great action continues as inside Jonathan is being attacked by the Demogorgon, getting very close here. This is not good. And Nancy starts shooting it with her handgun, but she does not have much of an effect on the Demogorgon. Um, so this is, I gotta say, a believable arc in Nancy's character. As originally she was almost timid, skinny, brainy girl who, wouldn't want to get her hands dirty. Now she's fending off this monster with a gun um, to protect Jonathan and herself at the very start, right, of why she's doing this. And I think it's believable. I can believe this right here. It's working for me. I like it. But Steve shows back up. He's back in the buyer's home. He saves the day for the two. And in the end, the Demogorgon is torqued to death. Okay, fireworks. Okay, there's one way to get rid of these guys. At the same time, Joyce is in the Upside Down and has a connection with Jonathan. She's in the buyer's home in the Upside Down. Jonathan's in the buyer's home in the real reality, the right side up. Yeah. But there is a connection here. That's great. That adds a layer into Joyce's character of her being a great mother. This show does that a lot, and with Mike's mother as well, very much so in season 5. Um, but yeah, so it adds a layer to her, to the mother here, that she has a connection to her children, which is great. So by the way, Dustin did find a chocolate pudding. It's pretty funny he's pretty excited that he's come across the chocolate pudding stash in his fridge. That's a lot of chocolate pudding, so that's pretty cool. That would make my day as well. Now, I like the scene where Mike and Elle talk about life after this night, after tonight, what they're going to do. Mike wants to take her to the dance. We might have to wait till season 2 to get into that. I think that happened in season 2. And bam, they finally kiss. There you go. Mike and Al. There you go. But problem is Dr. Brenner shows up knowing they are at the school. Now, I have a problem here as it appears all of the doors are unlocked to the high school. Why? If Hopper had a key to get in the door, should there not be just one door unlocked? Or once you leave, lock the door? I don't know. But it appears because Mike goes out a door, the door closes, he comes right back in again. And I don't know. Like it just seems like all the doors are unlocked. Call me crazy. Maybe that is the way that would happen in my mind. Shouldn't there be something on there for it to automatically lock again when you go out? I don't know. I've never worked in a school. I don't know how the locking system works. It just seems like all the doors are unlocked here, which is okay. That is not how that would go down, but um, anyways, it doesn't ruin it for me. Not nowhere near. No, no. So there's a showdown here in the school where the kids are cornered in the hallway by Agent Connie. And I think there's four other military police officers, I think. Um, Here we go again. Oh dear, do you not know what L can do? Um, Obviously not. She lowers her head and makes all these people cry tears. I'm pretty sure this is not where they got this, but this just Lucio Fulci to me right there. Um, Crying tears. Um, but anyways, I gotta say it's a great visual. I like that. Um, and then they all drop dead to the ground. Now I forgot about this entirely because maybe it's just been a while in this show, but in this first season, I off the top of my head, I'm counting 9 people she's killed, because they are a threat to her. And it's not a little threat, it's a big threat. And she kills them. So I'm counting like 9 people. If the two, I think there was two in the van, if they died too, whereas, well, 9 people, uh, that's a lot. Um, but I gotta say, that is badass. And I love it. It's great. It's kind of unexpected and great and not just softened, right? I like that. I really do. It's great. But then Elle drops to the floor as well as her powers are really being used in this scene, and she's down and out. After all this, the Demogorgon attacks Papa, who shows up and he's in the scene there. And I think the kids run away. Elle's in Mike's arms, if I'm remembering correctly. I don't know why I didn't write it down, but I didn't. Um, so it got Papa. Now I know there's a twist to this later because Matthew Modine. Hope you've seen other shows in the Stranger Things um, series, but he shows up um, in some probably in the next season as well. So there's a big twist coming with this. Boy, oh boy, I'm bad. I don't remember what it is. So, but it looks like he's done like dinner. Seriously, within the Upside Down, Joyce and Hopper find Will, but he has this giant tube shoved in his mouth. Um, while it wasn't exactly how it happened, it reminds me of Aliens or a deleted scene from Alien where they take um, a person to the queen, alien queen, and put her in the hive or him in the hive. Um, and yeah, so it just reminds me of Alien once again. Um, Anyways, they free him, and from this, as my wife said, she's a nurse. They perform some extreme CPR on him, um, and he's alive. That's awesome. And of course, this creates some more flashbacks for Hopper and his daughter and her death, extremely early in her life. She's not very old. Will does survive, as I said. But because of this, as I told my wife when she was there rewatching this again with me, I told her he's marked. And what I meant by that is marked as in he's not going to die. Um, I was, you know, I know how it all ends, but even in the beginning, I was like, he's not going to die. Um, I'm not saying it can't happen, but I just felt that, okay, he's got to survive in the end. Um, so there you have it. So we have another nice scene where the kids are hiding in a room in the school, and the Demogorgon breaks into the room. Uh, Lucas fires his useless rocks at him. Once again, straight out of Stephen King's It. But the fifth one, he fires it and it goes in its mouth, causing it to slam back, only to learn like a second or two later, no, it was Elle. Elle used her powers to throw the thing back. So the whole thing with um, Lucas's slingshot was like a red herring in the script, kind of. It really didn't do anything at all. But we come to learn, yeah, that it was Elle. I'm sorry. And it's, as I said, it slammed up against the wall, and Elle is using all of her powers here, screaming her head off, and the two of them disintegrate, and the monster is gone, as well as Elle. They are both gone. But remember, this is horror. Is the monster gone? Well, there's four more seasons, so now the ending is good, definitely good. To the episode or to the season, I'm sorry. Um, Will's in the hospital and his buddies come in. This is great. And share all the new things that happened. I forget, did Dustin tell him that Jennifer Hayes was crying at his funeral? Um, huh, I forget. Um, because of that, he had a funeral, remember? Would not everyone in Hawkins be like, WTF? The kid's dead. No, wait, he's totally fine, alive in the hospital. Now he's fine. What? I'm confused. Anyways, a month later, they're at Mike's again, playing some more Dungeons and Dragons, and yes, it gets super nerdy. Um, which I love. I love that. Um, but no one is letting Will go home alone anymore. Jonathan comes to the house to pick up his brother. That's great. Upstairs, Nancy gives Jonathan a present. That is not a present. You see why? We find out it is a camera. Remember the one that Steve broke earlier? And then after they leave, you see Nancy and Steve are actually still together. They're like hugging each other on the couch. All this. I think that present was actually from Steve. Steve bought that and gave that to Jonathan. I like it. But the fact, some people, I'm sure, are not going to have a problem with this. And if not, just explain it to me. Explain why it's not a problem for you, where it is for me. My wife said, well, girls and women, we do stupid things. Okay, I know a lot of men do too. Um, but Steve and Nancy getting back together, I, I have a bit of a problem with it. I know Steve's there. I know Steve's going to be going on in future seasons and all that. Um, but when you know what Steve did, what he did not only to Jonathan but to Nancy, putting her name, calling her a slut on the local theater, um, and I don't see like this is me. I need that meat on the bone. And maybe other people will say, well, it happened. I didn't need to see it. It's okay. I need to see it. I need to see him apologize to Nancy and apologize to Jonathan. Um, and then if I saw that, then it's much more believable because you get a response from Nancy, right? Um, I think it's better to see an extremely important scene like that to me, anyway. The way it ends up here, anyways. Um, little problem I have there. But I really like the part where Hopper's dropping off food, including some Eggos into like a box in the forest, meaning Elle is definitely alive and Hopper is feeding her. That's cool. And before all this happened, you saw Hopper was taken by government agents. Um, right before the flash on screen showing 1 month later, he was taken away in a car. So they would have, I'm assuming here, notified him of her being alive or something to that effect. So there you go. And then finally, Will, before Christmas dinner, washes his hands in the bathroom, all alone, of course. But he chokes out a David Cronenberg like snaily slug that goes down the drain. And then he's in the upside down, right in the bathroom. And then it flashes back and everything's okay. And then he comes back out to the table, pretending everything's fine, nothing wrong here. Just went to wash my hands. Um, Leaving a nice ending for you to think about. Um, and I've heard a lot of people say this show should have only been one season, but that's what would have been ended with, or left with. And it's an ending, right? And it's for you to add what you think perhaps would happen next, right? Um, so I like that. It was a good ending, but there are small problems, as I said, with Steve. Um, yeah, and breaking Jonathan's camera. Um, I think it would have been better if Steve said, Jonathan, I'm sorry, man, and gives him a camera. Then, Jonathan and Steve always have like this through the show, this, fight for Nancy, right? Where, I don't know. That's the way it was. That's fine, but I don't know. Um, yeah. Um, yeah, as I said, Steve was saying Steve's going to be coming back for season two, and that's fine. That doesn't mean he has to be Nancy's boyfriend. He can just be all alone or be with some other girl or whatever. He doesn't necessarily have to be her boyfriend. He can be right in the story. He was right in this story here, in the end. So, I don't know. Now, one thing earlier I was mentioning about Joyce asking to see the birthmarks of her son. Um, yeah, I'm thinking that the fake body, not quote unquote, the fake body, um, of Will had no birthmarks. So it was just sort of another level, as well as her communicating with Will that her son is indeed alive. The problem I have with that, though, is she doesn't tell anybody. She doesn't tell Jonathan, doesn't tell Hopper, nobody. So it's sort of, I didn't need that to make me believe that Will's alive. He did. Um, so it's sort of, they should have, it doesn't take much, just have her tell Hopper or have her tell Jonathan, even when he knew that he's alive, or even over the Christmas dinner, something just about those the birthmarks. I'm sorry. Um, but anyways, that was just another problem that I have. But in the end, these problems are small to me. This was still a great opening season to this show. Great show. Third time watching it. I hope I remember it. If not, I'll just rewatch these videos. Um, But I think it's a great show right here. So I would say if you love horror, you love fantasy, love the 80s, or if you're nostalgic about the 80s, like myself, um, this is a must see for those people. Or if you've seen those movies that I've mentioned that I think are huge influences to this, um, yeah, this you will like as well. This is a must see for you. Now, of course, as well, to me, some of the references aren't great. I prefer references done in animation films and stuff. Like I just saw Zootopia 2 with the wife. We loved it. We thought it was great, and I love the references in there, and they were done for humor, right? And then move on. Um, I don't know. That's just me, but um, there you have it. Um, So yeah, I can't wait to see season two now. And as I said, though, I'm going to take a little bit of a break here, Deuce, watch some John Carpenter. but I will be back and do the second season to Stranger Things. So I hope you're rewatching the show with me here. You've seen it all, rewatching it, checking out the reviews along the way. And well, until next time, maybe there'll be Stranger Things season two. Have yourself an excellent night.